This video is brought to you in part by the aresgame AGV 650.
Jazz. I'm not the only one seeing this, right? Hi, I'm a videographer and a cat owner, crazy kitten owner to be specific, and I love technology. Been over this a lot of times, and a few months ago I built my cousin Trey his first gaming PC, and now I'm building another gaming PC. Oh, it's not a gaming PC? I'm gonna be building my dad a computer that specializes in photo editing and digitizing records to CDs. So it doesn't technically need to be crazy powerful, but he had a pretty good budget for it. So I wanted to get him something that was super future proof. And I just realized we are missing one thing for it. We're missing the hard drive. So we won't be able to boot it up tonight, but we'll be able to put everything else together for my dad's record digitizing, photo editing PC 9000. But first we have to make sure we have the right tool for the job. So first you want to grab your, who put these here? You want to grab a screwdriver. This one is ratcheted, so it actually turns the same direction all the time, which is very cool. And hopefully that's all we need for the most part. So for the motherboard, we have the Asus Prime B550MA Wi-Fi. One thing that would be a plus to him is that his computer had Wi-Fi. For gaming, you know, you usually want to have a hardwired connection if you can, but his room isn't really accessible with Ethernet. So I wanted to make sure that we had a motherboard with Wi-Fi built in, so it's just one less thing to worry about. And then attached to the motherboard is the processor, and the processor is the Ryzen 7 3700X. This guy is an 8-core, 16-thread monster. This is actually better than my first generation Ryzen. It comes with the Wraith cooler out of the box, so that's gonna be super nice. Then of course we have one of the best albums of all time, Random Access Memories by Daft Punk. It's actually RAM, which stands for Random Access Memory. So I've never heard of this before. It's Viper Gaming by Patriot. It was a top-rated Amazon result. So looking at the RAM here, it has this really slick gray heatsink and then the silver Viper on it. Very, very, very gaming-y, even though it's not, you know, a gaming rig. A lot of RAM is great for photo editing if you have a huge batch of photos or if he is working on a lot of audio files. I don't want his computer slowing down at all. This man is an engineer who has dealt with crashing computers his entire life, and I stemmed from the same bad luck of technology that he has had to deal with, so we're gonna make sure that he has a really good computer. Now, you Zoomers might not recognize this. This is a DVD drive. Now, DVD drives are what we used to watch movies on. But because he's gonna be digitizing phonographs or records to CDs, he needed a basic CD-ROM drive. This thing was literally 20 bucks. It's also by Asus, so the Asus theme is for the most part gonna go across between the motherboard and the disk drive. Now, because our processor doesn't have integrated graphics, it can't actually output a video signal. It's just doing back-end processing, so we need a graphics card. And so because this new processor and motherboard supports PCI 4.0, it's just a faster technology for the technology that technologies this technology faster through the future of technology, if that makes sense. This thing would be great for 1080p gaming, but he's not gonna be gaming. He's gonna be doing Photoshop, but again, this will just blow through any huge batches of raw photos that he ends up importing. Now, finally on to the sponsored section of this video. I lovingly say it's sponsored because aresgame sent me this power supply. And Ares, I'm sorry it took me so long. With the state of the world right now, it's taken me forever to have a situation where I could actually use this in a build, because I didn't want to risk putting it into my main computer build, the singular computer I used to do my job. No offense if your product ended up bricking my machine, I wouldn't have a way to make videos, so I'm waiting for a new computer build with stuff that's all under warranty to use this. Now, it's a 650 watt Bronze Plus power supply, and they were nice enough to send it along to me to review, to take a look at. So we're gonna do just that today, and it's also gonna be powering my dad's computer. So There you go, Dad. We saved you a little bit of money there. You! Jazz the Spaz! Jazz the Spaz! Ow! You're so cute, but you're just crazy right now. Did you get into the catnip that I gave you? Now, I mentioned a little bit ago that we don't have the storage just yet, but we got him a 1 terabyte M.2 solid state drive that's using that PCI 4.0 as well, so we're gonna have super fast storage for him. And finally, we're gonna put all of this inside. The 110R is the name of this case. Now let's take a look at it, doing this experience for the first time with you all. By the way, I do lots of stuff related to music and technology and gaming, all which kind of encompass computers because, you know, I'm building this for my dad, who's a musician and doing stuff with music. You know, this computer runs games and it uses technology to run those games. All three of those things I love a lot. So if you're interested in any of that, make sure to subscribe here to Induction Studio so you don't miss anything. I'm doing a lot soon with music. I really should breathe more often. I'm actually gonna be doing a lot soon with music. I'm making a lot of music on the back end. I actually had to put some music projects on hold to build this for my dad. I wanted to make sure he had it by Christmas. He did buy all these parts, of course, but it's gonna be kind of one of the Christmas presents to him is getting this built for him. As an early Christmas present, I guess. Case, endpoint. It's done to help keep them safe, so I get it. I appreciate you, Corsair. By the way, if you didn't see the video where I actually built my first Ryzen computer and the liquid cooler sprayed liquid all inside of the computer, destroying it, Corsair actually took all those parts in, verified they were broken, and reimbursed me. So Corsair, thank you for that. And that build is now working fine. But that was a pretty fun video, even though the experience was extremely excruciating. So check that out in the card above. This guy is on its back. Jeez, Michael. So this guy has a tempered glass side panel that we'll be able to see everything through. It has some magnetic dust filters, a very, very simple front panel with just the 5.5-inch slot for our DVD drive. Around the back, we have all the normal power supply slots, this is where the graphics cards will come out, and the back I/O shield. But now, let's put it together. Now the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna open up the motherboard. Now the best thing about motherboard presentations is when you open, I mean, that's kind of disappointing, but it's okay. So in the box we have the wireless antenna. That's what's gonna go, and we'll mount it nicely on top of the computer. Let me bring this back and we actually get presented the motherboard. All right, so there is his motherboard. I really like the black and silver aesthetic. This is all going to be perfect together. I'm actually going to work on it this way. So this is kind of how I like to look at the motherboards. Here is the I/O, 2 USB 3.1, 2 USB 3.2. So first I think I'm going to install the processor, the Ryzen 3700X. Here's the Wraith cooler that will go right there. So before we install this, we'll want to do the RAM. Actually, let's just do the RAM now because then we won't have to worry. Wi-Fi. Do not be afraid of looking at the instructions, boys. It's not a bad thing to double check. For 2, it's going to be A2 and B2. Okay, so that's not what I expected. I expected it to be A1 and B1, but A2 and B2 actually have the asterisks by them, so those are the ones that we need to use. Dang, this thing is a thick boy. A thick boy indeed, and it looks like we're gonna clear it just fine. Okay, cool. In this huge box, the processor, the part that actually costs several $100s, is this little silver thing. Right there. It's very small, but very important, and also very sensitive. It has lots of tiny, sensitive little feelings that we don't want to hurt. And these feelings are these little pins on the bottom, so we do not want to hurt the pins. Do not drop these. I couldn't imagine how gut-wrenching the feeling of dropping one of these would be. And then you just go straight down onto the pins. Very gently. It should just sit in, give it a tiny little wiggle to make sure it's good, and then it goes down, click, and it's nice and snug in place. The cooler, there's a few things. This has pre-applied thermal paste. I mentioned it in the last video with Trey. So theoretically, we should be able to just plop this down nice and gently, and then we'll lock it nice and tight. So it's barely gonna move, and we should be good. There is the processor, its big boy cooler, and the RAM. CPU fan can plug in, and now we actually have a lot more slack than I anticipated. And what I would kind of do is I just kind of route it back behind the RAM here so you don't really see it. Well, now that that stuff is installed, we should be ready to actually put it into the computer case. So I'm just going to start installing. Take off the tempered glass panel. Oh yeah, one other tool that I forgot to mention that's gonna be super handy is your magnetic part tray. It works if your stuff actually sticks to it. So, gonna pop this panel off and put it safely back in the box. It does have some plastic on both sides to keep it from getting scratched. Okay, moved around the lights a little bit, so sorry if it looks a little bit different on me, but now I have one kind of shining into the case so I can see, and I honestly I'm gonna take off my glasses just so I don't have an obstructive view. So, one thing I'm noticing is we only have one fan for exhaust, which isn't going to be a big deal. So now I can get these cables out of the way here. So here we have the USB 3.0, the front audio jacks, and the power reset and all that fun stuff. This is honestly not the fun stuff. This is the most annoying stuff to connect because there are these teeny tiny little thingies that you have to plug into the exact right spot on the motherboard. Reviewing the boxing of their power supply. When I open it up, the power supply is in a completely cushioned bag, which I honestly don't even think my thermal take was like that. So that's really good. So the fact that they have it really well packaged is a plus to me. So the power supply is not modular, meaning all the cables are in one frickin' Squidward looking doohickey that can be a little bit more frustrating to manage, but the non-modular power supplies are a good way to save some money, especially with there being a shortage of power supplies. At least a few months ago, I think it's a little bit better right now. The design looks really nice. It has this really bright orange logo on the side. A lot of people don't like seeing the logo, but it's gonna be shrouded inside of the case, so we won't really see it. I do really like their logo. I will be honest, like it's a really sleek logo. Come on. As far as I can tell, a pretty decent construction. It's a power supply. It looks like a power supply. I'm sure it quacks like a power supply, but comes with the power cable, of course, and some other stuff. What is this? Oh, you don't get these very often. This basically shorts two pieces of the power supply together so you can test it with like a voltage meter. Usually you have to use like a paper clip to do this and you can get shocked, but if you're troubleshooting issues with your power supply, this will basically allow you to troubleshoot that. And so I will keep this for the future eras. So very nice little tool that I would not expect to find in a regular power supply. So that's cool. And it also looks like I have a free gift here, limited one per customer. Click the link below. Wait, what? It literally says, click the link below, but it's not working. Kill me. Click the link below and answer a few questions, and then a $39.99 RGB hard mouse pad will be shipped to you for free. Ooh. If any of you want an RGB mouse pad, I'm gonna do a giveaway. I will go and fill out the questions and get this mouse pad, and then I will give it away to someone. Only thing you need to do, two things. Leave a comment on this video down below. Also be great if you're subscribed. And follow me on Instagram because I will be... Michael, when you figure out how to do this, put it on the screen or something because I'm not sure how, but I'm gonna give away the mouse pad. So make sure to subscribe, put a comment down below, and I will figure this out. All right, so I'm going to install this. I'm going to put it in this way. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna have to feed up everything we need. So we need the main power. So I did a little bit of building off camera. I installed the whole motherboard and wired the power supply just because it's a lot of hunching over and moving stuff around, and it's all kind of boring. But now we're going to install the graphics card, the piece de resistance of the computer, which I'll probably have to take out again to install the storage. My very first graphics card was a crappy, super ancient Gigabyte, and then my 7850 was a power color. There it is. This was unintentional because I was actually looking at a different card that went out of stock right when I was about to order it. This whole build is going to be super slick because it's all just black, gray, and silver. Not too flashy, not too crazy. It's gonna do the job. It actually would do gaming pretty well at 1080p, especially paired with this processor. Maybe I can convince my dad to play Minecraft with me. That would be a fun video. What do you say, Dad? So I just gotta place it in. And once James sees this, maybe he'll be like, okay, here's a budget, build me a cool computer. He wants an Alienware, and I'm like, James, they look cool, and that's about it. You're literally paying an extra $200 for something that is $500 less in hardware, in actual value. So you're losing $700 practically. And we just place it on in, straight down. All right, well, it seems to be in place. Beautiful. God, this just looks so sharp. Just look at like the black, the gray, like the silver of the heatsink here just matches the silver of the fan. It's so nice. And then finally, the power for the graphics card clicks in like that. I still have to install the DVD drive, but finish up the video once it's all ready to go. Is that so? Steven, what are you doing? Why are you being so grumpy? Well, hard drive came in, got Windows installed, his computer is all ready to go, so have a nice little bow on it, and we're gonna take it over and surprise him.
Oh, stop.
What's this?
Merry Christmas.
To yourself.
To yourself.
Stop it.
Thank you. Is it all built?
Yep.
Oh my.
Bonnie. What, baby?
Lonnie, we're gonna need in there. Can you move here? We gotta show the camera your cute little bow. There we go. Thank you, Shay. I didn't take off the protective film yet. I wanted you to have that on her. That's the most satisfying part about building it.
So I'm gonna put fingerprints all over because that's gonna come off.
Exactly.
Stick the corner of my belly button so it doesn't move.
So the black and silver ended up working out perfectly. So we have the black and silver motherboard, the black and silver RAM, and then the few places that are gold line up like the copper color of the heat pipes and everything. And then there's a little bit of copper on your terabyte M.2 there.
Wow, that's a terabyte.
Mm-hmm.
I worked on a 20 kilobyte hard drive that was the size of this case. 20 kilobytes.
Yeah, I wanted to get you something that was actually worthy of the 21st century.